welcome everyone. I think we can get started. So we're gonna kick it off with Dr. Annette Hernandez to get us off to a start here. Thank you so much for joining us all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's great to have you. If I am Dr. Annette Pijuan Hernandez, and we're introducing ourselves as we go along, so you're getting to meet me first. I am the director of our traditional elementary and secondary education program, the student teaching pathway, which you'll learn a little bit more about in a minute. But if everyone for now, Mary, can we go to the next slide, please? If everyone for now, drop in the chat where you are joining us from, what grade level you are interested in teaching, and if you're thinking of teaching at the secondary level, what subject matter are you interested in pursuing while earning your credential? So go ahead and take a few minutes and drop that in the chat for us, please.
And just a friendly reminder that the chat is not being recorded. So while we are recording this presentation for other fellow aspiring teachers to view throughout the year, that your chat comments will not be seen in that recording.
Thank you, Mary.
Welcome, Jonathan. Ninth high school biology, great. Christelle, high school French. Buongiorno. Okay, we'll move along as people are good. We've got elementary or middle school history, elementary, great. So continue putting those in because we do collect that. And then if your questions come up later, we will refer to that. Elementary, great. So a little bit about, I'm Mary Fraser. I'm Director of Admissions for the School of Education here at LMU. And as I said, we're really excited to see you today. You'll be hearing from a variety of our faculty and staff throughout this presentation. We will go kind of quickly, but just know that we're always here for questions afterwards. We do one-on-ones, we have email, we're always available. So don't worry if you don't catch it all. Feel free to take screenshots, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so our core values, we really lean into the learning community that is based on Ignatian values. So these values are committed to social justice and that social justice action that influences change. We're very strong believer in candidate-centered approaches, which is you all, to make sure that we are supporting your growth and success. Our faculty are involved in interdisciplinary research to inform and foster a culture of innovation and discovery. And at the end of the day, we really hope that we're providing a nurturing community to help each of you individually become successful in your career goals, in your career path. Because at the end of the day, every student that you touch, that you teach, deserves inclusive, socially just, and compassionate teacher. And that's who we're hoping to form here at LMU. So we're so glad that you're here and interested in what we offer. We're just going to brag a little bit about our numbers and our reputation. We are ranked by U.S. News and World Report as the #2 Jesuit school of education in the country, the #2 private school of education in the state of California, the #7 school of education when you add in the UCs and CSU schools in the state of California, and #6 in the country, which is in the top 5% of schools of education across more than 1,200 nationwide.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to take over now. My name is Erin Boyle. I am the graduate admission counselor for our teacher preparation programs. So, as you go through this process, if you need any more information or just kind of want to talk to someone through the application process and get some more clarity, I, like Mary
Oh,
mentioned, hold one-on-one. So at the end, you'll have more information on how to contact me as well as some other staff and faculty that are with us today. But so we're going to get started with kind of our 1+1 model. So this is what year one would look like with your choice of options between an elementary ed or multiple subject teaching credential, secondary single subject teaching credential for middle and high school grades. And then we also offer an education specialist credential, which also then comes with an option of doing a dual credential program between the ed specialist credential and the elementary teaching credential with no additional units or cost required. So in the first year, you'll complete one of these preliminary credentials, and then you'll have the option to then move on to year two. And I'll hand it off to our next faculty member, Dr. Krikorian.
Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Marianne Krikorian, and I currently serve as the Clinical Associate Professor within the Department of Teaching and Learning, where I also hold a directorship for the Master of Arts in Transformative Education program. I'm going to refer to this program as TREAD for short because it is a mouthful. The TREAD program enables candidates to develop a deeper understanding of theory, research, and practice in education through what we call the Research Capstone Course Sequence. This is a research project that's required to be completed in a group with a topic related to justice-oriented issues in education. The program also offers some concentration areas of your choosing, and I'm going to go ahead and talk just really briefly about the different concentration areas. We do offer a concentration in digital learning. Digital learning explores the role of technology in teaching and learning in schools. Candidates develop skills to integrate technology into teaching, question the role of technology in promoting equity in society, and learn how to use technology to work with students with varied needs. We also offer a concentration in educational policy and administration, and this is offered in collaboration with the administration program in the Department of Educational Leadership. This concentration may benefit candidates who are interested in school leadership positions or policy work, offering best practices in school administration at school sites. We also offer a concentration in language and culture, and this is offered in collaboration with the Bilingual Bicultural program within the Department of Teaching and Learning. I'll just say really briefly about this concentration, and then I will turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Lavadens, so she can tell you a little bit about a authorization that's related to this area. So the language and culture concentration, in this concentration, candidates uh, have the option of applying for the bilingual authorization in Spanish, Cantonese, or Mandarin for their preliminary multiple or single subject credential. This concentration may benefit students who would like to teach in a bilingual dual language setting by completing coursework and bilingual authorization requirements. Dr. Lavidens, did you want to speak any more to this authorization?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Krikorian. Really, the bilingual authorization offers candidates who are already proficient in Spanish, Mandarin, Cantonese, and coming soon is Korean, the opportunity to really get another +1. So it would be one credential, one Master of Arts degree in TREAD, and one bilingual authorization. You must complete an initial language verification process, which is a lasting and enduring document that shows how your proficiency in Spanish is before entering into the bilingual authorization. The language and culture concentration does not require you to be bilingual, but it is part of the bilingual authorization classes, and two of the classes in the bilingual authorization and language and culture concentrations are offered in that target language, either Spanish, Mandarin, or Cantonese. We have an upcoming event that we will share with you about the opportunity to meet with some of our bilingual teacher stellar alumni on May 3rd, and we can send that to you through the network that you already ascribed to when you joined this this webinar. So thank you, Dr. Krikorian. I'm turning it back to you.
Awesome, thank you. We do also offer in the TREAD program a concentration in social, emotional, and cultural learning and wellness. This concentration is designed for candidates interested in studying emotional literacy and holistic pedagogical approaches in schools. Candidates learn about holistic human development, center the whole person in the teaching and learning process, and practice the application of helping skills to facilitate school cultures of wellness. And lastly, we are offering a disability studies and inclusive education concentration in collaboration with the Inclusive Education Certificate Program. Candidates in this concentration have the option of studying about inclusive education practices in schools, gaining the knowledge and skills to effectively educate students with a wide range of abilities, including in elementary and high schools. Next. Oh, and then we also offer our Master of Arts in Special Education. Next slide, please. So the TREAD program is offered to credential candidates who have completed their first year of teacher preparation coursework with a 3.0 GPA. Currently, the program is offered as a 1+1. What we mean by that is teaching credential in year 1 plus Master of Arts degree coursework in year 2, where candidates are required to complete their credential coursework, concentration coursework, and the research capstone sequence. Specifically in the TREAD program, those that are pursuing the SPED intern credential and the multiple single subject traditional credential pathways transfer over 18 units from the credential and are required to complete 6 units of concentration coursework and 7 units of the research sequence. All those in the intern, practitioner, and residency multiple and single subject credential pathways take 15 units from their credential towards the MA degree and complete 9 units of concentration coursework and 7 units of the research sequence. We are so excited that you're considering one of our master degree programs. We welcome the opportunity to co-construct your graduate education with you, and I look forward to the potential of working alongside all of you. Thank you.
Go to the next slide.
Hello again. So a little bit about, thank you, Dr. Krikorian. A little bit about the pathways that now work in tandem with the master's program that Dr. Krikorian just shared with you. So the first of those pathways is the traditional pathway or the student teacher pathway, where you complete your clinical practice hours in a mentor teacher's classroom. This is an option available to both undergraduate and graduate programs here at LMU. You are expected to have all of the CTC requirements completed prior to your second full semester in the program in order to give you the opportunity to do your clinical hours in that mentor teacher's classroom. We have an assigned clinical fieldwork coordinator who will assign your placement to you. So we will find you all of your placements for each of your student teaching hours. And the student teacher pathway, the traditional pathway, has 2 terms that we admit. I believe we're the only pathway that actually offers 2 different terms. The first is in summer 2, and we also admit a cohort in the fall semester. And basically how the clinical practice works. For general education, so that's elementary and secondary credentials, you will do 2 days on site in a mentor teacher's classroom for the first semester. And then your second semester of clinical practice, you're in a mentor teacher's classroom for 5 days a week. That is the same for our special education students, where you do 2 days in the first semester, and then depending on the hours you've completed, and I believe this is true for those doing the dual credential path, you might do anywhere from 3 to 5 days per week in your second semester. And I think that's one thing we haven't talked about for our elementary candidates. If you're in the education specialist credential pathway and you would like to add a multiple subject credential to your studies, you can do that. And you would complete the program with a dual credential in multiple subjects and education specialists. And you're still eligible to earn the MA as well. We currently have one partnership with the Orange County Department of Education Consortium. So if anyone, I don't think I saw anyone currently here from Orange County, but in case you know someone in Orange County, we do have a partnership with them through the Department of Education for this pathway in particular.
Right, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the resident teacher pathway. My name is Sarah Seinfeld, and I am the director of the teacher residency programs at LMU. And the resident teacher pathway is an opportunity to earn while you learn. So you have an opportunity to get a position at one of our partner schools in the subject area and content that you're pursuing your credential in. And it's a full year mentoring program with paid position at that employer or that school site. It is important to note that a residency program is reliant on those school site partnerships. So you would need to secure a position at one of our partner schools prior to completing the Loyola Marymount Education School of Ed application. We have several different partners, both in Southern California, Central, and Northern California, most of whom are listed there. We have Avance, which is a consortium of charter schools in the Southern California, Central LA region. Elevate, which is another consortium of charter schools up in the Bay Area. Larchmont Charter School in Central LA. PUC, or Partnerships to Uplift Communities in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and the Northeast LA area. Rocket Ship is also located up in the Bay Area, and then Lawndale and LAUSD also in Southern California. So we are happy to help connect folks who are interested in this pathway with opportunities for placement in any of our partner schools, and then with the full year experience of mentorship. You do not have to have all of the CTC requirements to begin in this pathway. We do ask that you work towards those and then have those completed by second semester in alignment with what we call the gradual release of responsibilities. So you kind of start slow in the beginning and then ramp up your responsibilities in second semester as you take on more and more with your mentor teacher. Another key attribute of the residency is that you might also be asked to sub at your school site in which you're placed. So it is required for you to get a substitute permit, but your partner school will help you secure that. And the only thing you need for that is your bachelor's degree. So this is a great option for folks who are hoping for a tailored experience that offers a lot of mentorship, a lot of support, and a paid position while you are going through coursework. We can go to the next slide.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natasha DaCosta, and I'm going to talk to you about both the intern teacher pathway and the private school teacher pathway. These two pathways, the big difference is that you are teaching as teacher of record while you are training and completing your coursework towards your credential. For the intern teacher pathway, some of the big things that I want to call out that are very important is that in order to start this pathway, you must have all of your CTC requirements complete prior to us being able to recommend you for your intern credential, and that also includes pre-service work. Additionally, you'll have needed to secure employment in order to pursue this pathway. In this pathway, you are the one responsible of finding that employment unless you're coming to us through one of our partnerships. In our partnerships, we've listed a couple of them there. So if you're interested in any of those, you can reach out directly to those employment partners or those charters, because you do have to obtain that employment from them first before applying. Other things to note about this pathway is that you do get admitted in summer session 2 so that you can complete some pre-service work with us before you can be recommended for your intern credential, which is what you need to have before you can be teacher of record at the school site. It follows the same type of pattern for your private school teachers. The only difference is that your CTC requirements don't have to be complete until your second semester. The requirements are a little bit different when you're in a public school, but in a private school, you have a little bit more time. But you are a full-time teacher of record, and you will be in charge of your classroom. During the program for both, we will have you assigned a fieldwork instructor who will do your clinical hours with you and mentor you. And throughout the time, you'll also be completing requirements like the EdTPA so that you can earn your preliminary credential.
Oh, can we go back to that previous slide? And we're going to turn it over to Nadia Conway, one of our fieldwork supervisors.
Yes, hello. My name is Nadia Conway, and I am one of the fieldwork coordinators. And as the EdTPA coordinator, I have the privilege of working with every single teacher candidate in our program, regardless of pathway. I wanted to let you know that everyone, again, regardless of pathway, will be enrolled in a fieldwork course. So while you are in the program and completing your credential coursework, you are assigned a fieldwork instructor. And I was an elementary school teacher, and I remember how important it was to have someone come visit me in my classroom and share their strategies for improving instructional practices. And we have an amazing team of fieldwork coordinators throughout fieldwork instructors throughout the state who are there to support you every step of the way. So with fieldwork, you are assigned a fieldwork instructor who comes ideally to visit you at your own school site, and they work with you throughout the year and serve as your mentor from Loyola Marymount University. They will complete 6 observations each semester and complete evaluations and coordinate with anyone who is supporting you on site at your school.
Thank you, Dr. Conway.
All right, so as you go through the process, you'll kind of also follow through this California's tiered credentialing system. Part of this will be done at LMU, and part of this will be done once you complete your credential and get started working with a school or a district. So when you come to LMU, we'll start if you're on the intern pathway or if you do the resident pathway and it requires a permit. We'll start with getting you one of those. Interns, your credentials were valid 2 years, and then you'll be using that in order to teach in the classroom. And residents, your sub permit, which will be issued by your school, will be valid for 1 year. Then everyone else will start at this second level when you receive your preliminary credential after completing that first year and meeting all of those CTC requirements. Will be valid for 5 years, and within those 5 years, you'll then need to do the process of clearing your credential. This is usually completed through an induction or mentoring program. Usually in public schools or school districts, they'll offer a program for you to do in order to help you clear your credential. Otherwise, in terms of people working at private schools, or maybe if you're at a charter school or somewhere that doesn't offer a certain program like that, you can also look into a program offered through the LA County Office of Education to help clear your credential as well. So those requirements for clearing will be done after you're leaving LMU, but we still offer services and have a credential team here to help you as alumni with any other, credential or CTC needs you have as well. So in order to start that process of getting your credential, here are some requirements from the CTC that need to be met to be able to recommend you for your credential. So like we said, some of these are going to be due up front before you really start the program, and then some pathways offer a bit more time. but ultimately everyone will need to complete your subject matter competency. So this is the subject that you teach. Most commonly, there are CSET exams offered within that subject that you can pass. If you also have a bachelor's degree in a major that matches the subject of the credential that you're getting, for example, like an English major and an English credential could match to help waive that exam. Alternatively, we also do coursework reviews. So if you majored in something similar or had a lot of coursework in a similar program, we can take a look and see if we can waive any of those CSET exams. But if none of those other options, the CSET exam is the option that would be the final choice we would give you at the end. But we'll try the other options first to help avoid those. Next is the US Constitution. Most commonly, it's either someone took a history or political science class that covered the Constitution, or if you graduated from or will be graduating from a CSU school, your degree then helps complete that requirement. So then you don't require a CTC approved exam. If you do need that exam, we have a one we recommend online that we will send to you and make sure that you are set up with to take after we review either your coursework or your school you graduated from. And then last is your certificate of clearance. So this is completed through the CTC. So it requires a live scan fingerprinting process to be done, which through the CTC website, they offer a list of locations where you can go. You'll set up an appointment, usually will have to be in California unless your state also offers live scan. But you'll do that, submit an application online to the CTC. You'll have your fingerprints submitted. And then after a few weeks, once they kind of run background check, you'll be issued your certificate of clearance. And that basically is what's going to allow you to work in the classroom legally. So again, for interns and any pathway, similar will be partnerships like that will be required up front. For private pathways, you usually will help follow people within your program to kind of figure out the timeline of when you'll need that ready by. And I'll pass it back over to Dr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Erin. So you might be wondering, lots of information, when do I start? So there's two terms, but really all pathways are admitted in summer session 2. That session starts in late June. And again, this covers all the pathways we've just shared with you: intern, resident, private Catholic, and the student teacher pathway. For this start date, all CTC requirements do need to be completed prior to when the summer 2 session starts, which, as I noted, is in late June. You will complete all of your credential coursework by the end of year 1, and then you will transition to your MA coursework and finish that by the end of year 2. So that's for summer 2 starters. The one pathway that has a fall semester start, which is typically in late August, is for the student teaching pathway. For this, your CTC requirements, it's really to provide an opportunity for students who may not have all of those CTC requirements that Erin just mentioned completed by summer 2. It gives you a little extra time. So you won't have to have all of those requirements completed until the end of year 1, which means you'll start your final clinical practice semester at the beginning of year 2. This is only an option for elementary and secondary candidates. So if you're thinking of getting your education specialist credential on the student teaching pathway, you are still on a summer 2 application deadline start. So elementary, secondary only for the fall semester start. You will complete your credential by the end of your first year and a half. As I mentioned, you do that final clinical practice semester in fall of your second year. So that's that extra half year. And you will still complete your MA coursework by the end of year 2. So you will still accomplish all of the same goals. You will still earn your credential and your master's in 2 years. It's just the credential piece will take a semester longer since you technically started a semester later.
And can I jump in on this slide? Can we
Yes,
go back? I'm going to apologize. I made a mistake on this slide. So you're probably a little confused. Summer 2 start, CTC requirements need to be completed before Summer 2 for the student teaching pathway for Summer 2 and the intern pathway for Summer 2. Residents and private school teachers have more time to complete those CTC requirements, even though they're starting in Summer 2. So apologies on that. I should have been clearer on that wording.
Thank you, Mary.
Mhm.
All right, so now for the actual how do you apply and what is needed to apply to our programs. And again, all of this, if you need help with it after we go through and you're like, oh, I forgot, we'll have ways that you can meet with us or reach out to us for help in figuring out the online application. So first, our online application, there's the web link there. We'll also have a QR code at the end that'll take you to our website, and you can find it there as well. It'll ask, fill out all your personal basic information. What's required within that application is a personal statement of intent. There is a 2-page minimum requirement, and we do ask that you do meet that 2-page minimum or extend to the max of 4, just to make sure that we really get enough information from your answers and get to know you a little bit more. It's really for us to, see you a little bit more since we don't get to, actually meet you until you're here. So we do ask that you do meet that page requirement. Letters of recommendation, this does differ per program and in the online application as you fill out the information specific to the program you're applying for, it'll auto adjust the application to then also show you how many letters of recommendation are required and what those requirements are. So you can then or request a information program packet from our website. And it'll also have more information specific to each pathway of what's required. For everyone, though, official transcripts from all institutions attended are required, but primarily the bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution we do need. If you did take any courses at a community college or junior college, or if you've done any other advanced degrees like master's degrees, we do ask and usually request that you go ahead and submit those to us as well, especially if you are planning to use your coursework or let's say like a master's degree in order to meet subject matter or any of the other CTC requirements. Usually we do find a lot of those necessary classes in those community college transcripts. So if you do have any, we do recommend just going ahead and sending them because they could potentially save you time and money. And then GPA exception form and statement. Our GPA minimum is a 3.0. However, we do practice a more holistic approach to admissions, and we don't believe that your GPA, defines who you are. So if we do find that you have a GPA below that 3.0, we just may reach out to you and ask for you to submit an extra kind of personal statement to give you an opportunity to share what may have been going on at that time and why you're ready to kind of restart in this graduate program with us now. So that's all initially with the online application. After that, additional requirements, including with the CTC requirements I went over. Additionally, if you're with a partnership, they may have other to-dos for you as well. So you'll be kind of following between LMU and any partnerships you're working with. That'll be, including getting ready a full-time teaching position, getting your CTC requirements in, and then if a partnership, you may have a contract that you'll need to submit as well. But throughout the entire application review process, me and little Mary, and then a lot of our other staff and faculty are happy to be there to answer any questions along the way and make sure that we get everything you need. So we're definitely not going to leave you behind to, figure out all of the little pieces that are needed to make it to the end.
Okay, now we get to money. So tuition and financial aid. We're going to talk mostly about financial aid opportunities. Many of our partnerships vary in the amount of aid that they offer directly through that partnership. So it's impossible to list them all, or really we don't. So we just choose not to list any because it's just so varied. But once you're accepted into a partnership, they will give you all those details. All right, so partnerships aside, there are generous scholarships as I said, through our partnership programs, right? I already said that. But federal Teach Grant awards $4,000 for full-time students. There are requirements. It is a federal award, so you have to make sure you know what those requirements are and what the post-graduation requirements are, and that you're okay with them. Same with the Golden State Teacher Grant. That is not federal, that is California State Grant. It is up to $10,000 for high need fields. This includes elementary, bilingual, math, science, special ed. And so that state grant also has requirements post-graduation. So make sure that you're okay with that. That is eligible for residents and student teachers. Interns, unfortunately, are not eligible for that Golden State Teacher Grant. Interns usually get more money through the partnership, and they're getting a paid salary. It makes them ineligible for that grant, unfortunately. If you happen to be one of our illustrious City Year alumni, you do get a 30% tuition discount scholarship. This is not in combination with something else. So if you're getting more money from a partnership program than that 30%, then that null and voids the City Year. But if City Year is your partnership, so to speak, then you get a minimum of the 30% tuition scholarship. We have Catholic school educator scholarships as well that are in the similar range. And so it really just depends on once you delve down into which pathway you're really going to, when we can help you more thoroughly with what that looks like. Everything requires a FAFSA if you're eligible to use the FAFSA application or the DREAM application for those that are not eligible for the FAFSA. There is a financial aid session tonight, actually every night this week. And that link will be in the chat. It's at 6 p.m. today, and they'll be talking about that. They also will have a video posted on that open house website, as well as our video. The base tuition at this time is $16.32 a unit. That's for the current year. And there's a website that we have where you can explore all types of aid and scholarships. Any external agency that wants to give you money, take them up on it. We always encourage you to we'll take money from any external agency that wants to help you pay for your education. A lot of those scholarships do not have heavy application rates. So your chances, if you're willing to go out and pound the pavement and get them, your chances are pretty good of getting some of those. So we highly encourage that. And let's see, next slide. Great. This is at the end of our formal presentation. We're going to stay around for Q&A. We will stop the recording before you do that, but I just wanted to point out real quick here first. There's a QR code there if you want to take a picture of that. That takes you right to our website and get you more information. Our email address is there, our phone number, our social handle is there, and of course this open house website where this video will be. You met today Aaron on our team. Anthony is doing another presentation right now for PlaceCore and CAS, some of our private school programs. I'm Mary Frazier. You met Natasha, you met Dr. Seinfeld. Dr. Chingoosby is actually teaching right now. You met Dr. Krikorian. Dr. Limon is also teaching right now, and she is our special education director, and she says a warm hello to everyone. And of course, you met Dr. Hernandez tonight. So we thank you so much for being here. We're gonna, there are some in the chat, there are some links for the sessions tonight and other nights this week. Financial aid and/or international admission are at 6 p.m. And then at 6:30, our career and professional development is there. They really help you with getting those jobs. If you want to get, an intern position or something, they'll help you with interview skills and resume writing and all of those things. So with that, I'm going to turn off the recording and then we'll start the Q&A.